opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barber's Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Monday, March 24th, 2025. I'm your host, Scott. You know where to follow me on all social media platforms at Barber Chair Scott. You can follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms. And, of course, you can follow H&B Media and H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram, man. And follow the new Instagram page of I'm Not Gonna Hold You at INGHY Show. And subscribe to our Patreon, man. Patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. We got 4 different tiers on there. If you subscribe to the $10 Barber's Chair All Access tier, you get 25% off your first order on the Barber's Chair Network shop. That is the bcnetshop.com, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. We appreciate all y'all, man. We got a good show for y'all on deck. Pavy will be joining us in probably about 20, 30 minutes. We're going to talk a little bit of Chicago Bulls, and then we're also going to get into some Bears stuff here in this local hour. And then in hour 2, the homie Tosin will join us, as we're going to talk about everything from NFL to NBA and, surprisingly, some soccer talk on here. I will explain later in the show why we'll be doing that. But first, we're going to bring my co-host on here, man, the one and only JR Bang. You can follow Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. Bang, how you feeling?
I'm straight, trying not to get fined. I hit that button, trying not to get fined.
Right. That is an everyday thing. We apologize.
Watching Raw in the afternoon, you know.
I keep forgetting Raw is on early. That don't feel weird watching it early as hell.
I mean, no, it feels good. Back in the day, ESPN used to have wrestling at like 3:30, so I get home from school and wrestling be on, so that was lit. But also, hey man, why you ain't never tell me about the show Shrinking on Apple Plus?
Shrinking? I never watched it. You talking about the shit with Harrison Ford?
Yeah, that shit actually low key decent.
I heard it's good. It's got Jason Segel on there too, right?
Yeah, and that nigga's hilarious. But no, this shit low key decent. I'm just finishing up season 2 now.
How many seasons is it? It's like 3 or 4.
I think it's only 2. I think they might be working on 3 now.
You know what's funny about Apple TV? Like they got a lot of great shit, but they losing $1 billion a year from their streaming, which is crazy to me when you figure out like how the streaming works. And like there's really only like 2 streaming companies, streaming platforms that are actually making money. That's Netflix, obviously, and Disney Plus just got the rail like a year ago. So that's just kind of weird to me, man. But let's get into it. We're going to get into it with the local hour here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You.
It's local hour.
There we go. First, man, we got to say R.I.P. George Foreman. George Foreman passed away this past weekend. I think he was 76. Man, I think this thing I'll say about George Foreman. I don't remember much of his boxing. That was before my time. I just remember that when the fucking Foreman grill hit the streets, everybody their mama had that joint. Now that's probably the main thing I've got, but I know he was a great boxer. Not one of the all-time boxers. That's a great legacy. And definitely, man, prayers out to his family and friends from this weekend, man. So any thoughts on George Foreman?
Yeah, man. Look, this is one of those times where a GOAT has passed away, right? These are one of those times where when you look at the person that's passed, they're really, truly like one of the greatest of all time. And George Foreman, as far as being a heavyweight goes, George Foreman is probably a top 10 heavyweight. And he's not only a top 10 heavyweight, he was a heavyweight during the time where the heavyweight division, being a heavyweight champion, meant something. Like him, George Foreman, George Foreman. Who else? Muhammad Ali, of course.
Yep.
Joe Frazier. Like those, the three heavyweight kings. Then when you add people like Ken Norton, Ron Lau, and others who either won gold or consistently fought for it, that 70 Larry Holmes. And you got to remember, he beat Ron Lau. Well, for those who don't know, I think it was 1976 in Orlando. I was not alive at that time. He defeated Ron Lau, and I think Puerto Rico. Thought he was about to die, retired, and then came back in the late 80s. And of course, he became the oldest world heavyweight champion by defeating Michael Moore by knockout. So this is like we've had people pass, but this is one of those situations where a GOAT, a high level, a GOAT has passed away. And I think because of the George Foreman grill and because of like when you hear that his kids had like all his sons had his name, think people kind of like I won't say lose, but they don't really know and understand like who George Foreman is or was. But nah, George Foreman is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, one of the most powerful heavyweights of all time. Knockout punch and knockout power in both hands, and really came out to maim or destroy an opponent. So rest in peace, George Foreman, and thoughts and prayers to the Foreman family.
Thoughts and prayers to the Foreman family, man. Definitely. I want to talk about a little bit of moves that's going on in journalism. You know, we got in the chat. What's my thoughts on what happened to Dan Bernstein? And that's what I wanted to get to. Like, there's been a lot of drops from different newspapers and things like that, letting go of journalists. Now, obviously, Dan Bernstein is a different situation. He fucked his own self up, but I'll get to that in a second. But you're starting to see journalists really starting to lose their jobs. And we see it every year. But I feel like now it's really, really starting to pick up even more and more. And you see something where it's kind of to the point where, what did they say? Get down or lay down. Like, you're either going to make content or be a media head or be one of those or not, or you're going to be out of a job. And we see a lot of people who were not on the Bears beat this year, who were there a couple months ago, who are not going to be there now. And to me, I really feel like the death of journalism, not just with sports, but I think in general, when it comes to what's happening in Washington, with Donald Trump wanting to pick who gets to come into the White House to, be in the press rooms and ask him and the press secretary questions, that you're starting to see that being phased out. And I always felt like that's going to be a more damaging thing more than anything. And, I don't consider myself a journalist whatsoever. I know too many journalists. I have too many journalist friends, and I respect what they do to the point that I will not call what I do journalism. But I think what I do is what is getting journalism out the paint, as far as like the talking heads and the media personalities and things like that. So I see it going into a new era, and obviously it benefits people like me and what we're doing this show, but it doesn't. It's also bad at the same time because you see people, good people losing their jobs and things like that. Now with the Dan Bernstein thing, that's a completely different situation. When you threaten people, kids, first of all, they've been talking crazy for a while. So this is not something that's really shocking. He was talking crazy last year. I think it was to one of them Barstool people. Very disrespectful to one of them on there. And I really don't have no love lost for Barstool, but then you see the situation where he's threatening somebody, kids, on the internet. And at that point, you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? And I just think you got to stay in your body, man. You can't be doing too much, and two people get too high on their own high horse, and just start doing whatever. And that's what I think you saw with the Dan Bernstein situation. But it's really crazy to see the slow death of journalism in general. Bang, what you think about everything that's been going on? I mean, you can see Richard Roper. He's not going to be at the Sun Times anymore. And you're seeing, Sun Times. And that's kind of weird to see.
I mean, yeah, this has been a slow death for years, though. This is not nothing that's new. If you look at really, if you go back to about 2008, 2009, as the internet boom when it comes to digital really starts to happen, it's a slow death because newspapers had a hard time in transitioning. You had magazines, because it's not just newspapers. You got to look at magazines too, and how magazines had a hard time in transitioning. You're paying people off of impressions and stuff. Hell, I'm dealing with some shit right now. That's why I'm like in and out, like making sure that I'm typing this shit, because I just had some stuff that I had to respond to and tell my team to do because of how we need to function right now. Like Richard Roper, Michael Sneed, who was that? Mark Potash. A lot of people at the Sun Times has been around for years. So like Shane said, it seems like they're getting all of them old heads out. Like, no, it's not just about old heads. It is definitely not just about old heads. It's literally about what you can afford to pay. It's about what you can afford to pay these people because of what you're bringing in. Like, let's go. When I got into this business, because I wanted to be the person that made the big announcements. I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to be on TV making the big announcements, the breaking news and all of that stuff. Now look where we at when it comes to even TV. It's gone are the days of must-see TV and TGIF. And when was the last, outside of streaming now, because when you look at like what they're doing with Daredevil, you got to wait till 8 Eastern, 7 Central or whatever in order to see it, right? But outside of that, when was the last time in the streaming era? When was the last time you was like, yo, at 7 o'clock, I got to be here at this day, at this time to watch something?
Probably Game of Thrones.
There you go. And even still, you was like, yo, I watch this in the morning. If I was just too tired, I watch this in the morning. Like, I grew up in the day.
Well, it depends. I feel like the height of Thrones, you couldn't wait till the next morning.
No. Hear me. I'm with you. No. I don't get, like, this ain't got nothing to do with I know what you're saying. It ain't got nothing to do with spoilers and all that shit. It's just simply like, shit, the show come on at 7. I'll just watch this shit in the morning. I might just be sleepy and go to sleep. The flip side of that is just like with the record business, it's with the TV business too. Like, how do you pay people back in streaming? I forgot old girl name on Gilmore Girls, but she had said that when they redid it at Netflix, she didn't get no money, no residuals off of the streaming. Yep. So that's you have this on all digital platforms. And yes, the future of media can be independent media, but is that media really independent? Because the bigger brands are being funded by some of these bigger brands. Like, you got, like, for example, remember now this got bought and was being funded by, and just like the record business, like, man, a lot of people's goal is to get that contract. A lot of independent media goals is to get that contract from CNN, MSNBC, and all of these other brands to get money. Because again, and Scott will tell you, like Scott will tell you, like, this is great what we doing. Don't get me wrong. We love doing it. We have fun and all of that shit. But that's why we say, go get the merch. That's why we say, go to Patreon. That's why we say, support not just by your views, but by spending your bread. Independent media costs money.
Yep.
So we can be like, hey, this is the future, but ain't none of these people surviving without bread. Even when it comes to podcasting. If you don't do a podcast, if people stop their podcast after 7 episodes, if they don't necessarily see the results that they would like to see.
Yep.
Because they think, oh man, all my homies and all that shit, they see me with a podcast, they gonna support and blah 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 and all of that stuff. For a lot of people, it is years before they see a certain amount of episodes go to a certain amount of downloads. You really got to have a gut and the balls to be in this business. So when you think about what's going on with independent media and me saying what I'm just said, now you imagine a Sun-Times, you imagine a Tribune, you imagine a magazine that has to get impressions, streams, and when I mean ad impressions, video impressions, time spent on site got to be at a certain amount. You got to get a certain views to turn this over. You start talking about EBITDA. You have to start having EBITDA conversations because you need to see a return on an investment. You got to see a profit and all that stuff. When you start having those conversations, when y'all start getting privy to those conversations, it's a whole totally different ball game. I told my wife this the other day. Nobody wants to know how the food was made. They just want to know that it's good or not.
Yep.
If Scott came on here and told y'all what it takes for him to do this show weekly
every day, and you wonder why I ain't put a bullet in my head yet.
Yeah, like, and this is no diss to our listeners. I want to say what I'm about to say. It's no diss to our listeners, but y'all don't really care about how the product is made. Y'all just care that we come on this motherfucker at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock Central and 5 o'clock Central. Y'all care about getting that Summer Sessions content. Y'all care about getting that content, but people don't really care about what it goes into it. So if that's like that is on the independent level, imagine when you're sometimes trying to figure it out and you've been sold and to this company and that company and this company and that company. Imagine when you are the Washington Post and Jeff Bezos has bought you, and you really the only reason why you're around still in the way that you are around is that he's a billionaire. But because he's a billionaire and he owns this joint, hey, yo, I'm going to make some changes to this product the way that I see fit because of the way that the world is right now. So I say that to say this, and I'm glad that you brought this topic up, Scott. If you like what you see for this podcast or this video show, all right, if you love what Scott is doing on Barber's Chair, or if you just love what you see from any independent media outlet that you mess with, whether it's us, whether it's the Bigs, whether it's CHGO, whether it is what we had Nick Moriano on here. He's doing this stuff with the Bigs and he's doing this stuff solo. We had the 108 Cats over here last week. If y'all love and support, buy merch, hit the Patreon. When they got a show going on, support, do all of those things. Because while independent media is the future, Stephen A. Smith just signed a $100 million deal with ESPN so he can fund his ventures. Pat McAfee funded his venture. Barstool got into it. He left Barstool to become independent again. Got more bread with the FanDuel. Got more bread left, and now he's licensed by ESPN. There's a couple of others that I'll name that I could name, but I just won't because it'll be too much time. Just support
Everybody,
your
nightcap, everybody.
media. Everybody support the media that you love.
And I'll say this too before we move on to the Bears and the Bulls. Like, does it? And this is why I kind of like. I won't say get offended, but I kind of get offended why niggas just say, "Oh, I'm gonna start a podcast." Like, it's like y'all don't know half the work that gets into it. I think shout out to LaRussell. LaRussell's an artist who I fuck with heavy. Like, I like his music, but I think I like his hustle and his brand more than the music. And he said something like, do 100 or something. Like, you're not a podcaster until you do 100 episodes. You're not a artist till you do 100 songs. You're not whatever. Put in the time. Like, Bang was talking about shows. I'm just going to give y'all a peek into the future. There's going to be a live I'm Not Gonna Hold You show this summer. We're coming up on 200 episodes. We're going to be doing a live I'm Not Gonna Hold You show, and it will be a ticketed event. So when that happens in a couple months, we want y'all to support, come out, buy the merch, enjoy, do the whole thing, because that helps us do this thing on the daily. And I've been seeing the growth of this show. You know, the views have gone up. You know, last year we did all together in a year on all platforms, we did around 500,000. So like it's going higher and higher. But I think when it comes to social media, not social media, but new media, and I think Don Lemon said this on his show like a day or two ago, because he had Joy Reid on there, who she just got let go by MSNBC. And he's like, look, it's a lot more work than what I was doing at CNN, but there's also a lot of good pros that come with it as well. So long story short, we appreciate everybody who watches the content, listens, and not just this show, any of the stuff we got on the Barber's Chair. Just keep supporting, because if we want the new media and whatever independent media to be the next wave, we got to make some money so this actually can be a successful business. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a everyday process. I just don't come on here, turn on my microphone, cut a camera on, and just start talking shit. Like it's a whole bunch of things going on this, man. So anyway, after we're done with the sports media talk, let's get into the Chicago Bears. We got Pavy be joining us in about 15 minutes. We want to talk about Caleb Williams. Right now, we're in the middle of this. I don't want to say it's kind of a quiet period for the Bears, at least. This time last year, the chatter was all over the place. You know, Justin Fields had just been traded. What are the Bears going to do? You know, does Caleb want to be there? Is he trying to force his way to Washington? There was a new story every day. Right now, I kind of feel like we're in the calm before the madness. You know, there's obviously the Bears have a number 10 pick. We'll talk about in a minute which way they should go with that. But it's been very quiet on the Caleb Williams front. So I kind of want to do like an early preview of what things we want to see from Caleb Williams in year 2. Now, we can sit up here. We can talk about the sacks. We can talk about all those things. I've always said, all year. I saw how many games I did last year. I did 14 games last year out of the 17 on the Bears schedule. And out of the 68 times Caleb got sacked, I want to say at least 30 of them were on him. And a lot has to be because he holds on to the football too much. So I want him to get the football out quicker. I want him to use his legs when the defense gives him the opportunity to do. I know he don't like running. I get it. But use it. I think there's a lot of opportunities he had last year where he could have ran and he didn't, and it led to a sack. I also want to see more checkdowns. You don't have to go for the Hall of Fame, not Hall of Fame, but the home run play every time. And I think with Ben Johnson, you're going to really see him take it to the next level. Now, there's as far as like worries and concerns, only 10% of me is concerned. Like that's the Bears PTSD. This is all gonna fuck up for us type thing. But if you look at all the things he did do last year, we look at him throwing for 3,000 yards. When we see him throwing for 20 touchdowns, we see him having less than 10 interceptions off, if not the most dysfunctional coaching staff, top 2 most dysfunctional coaching staff in the history of the franchise. that gives me more of a way to say, oh, well, once he gets the actual system around him, he's going to get better. Now, the things he's going to have to work on off the field that we've heard, being a better leader, being a better, teammate and things like that. Not that he's been bad, but, there's been writers, and even Ryan Poles himself alluded to him stepping up a little bit more in that department. You give him a pass for that in year year one, because he's a rookie, but you don't give him pass for that in year two if you keep hearing that. So I just really want him to take that, move it to the next level, and just really, because this year is going to be a lot of pressure on him. I don't doing the Chris Canty and all them idiots on that radio show saying that he has the most pressure out of any quarterback in the league. Like, that's stupid. People are going to be looking at Patrick Mahomes. Can he bounce back from this blowout in the Super Bowl? You're going to be looking at Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. When are they finally going to get over the Patrick Mahomes hump? So I don't even think he's in the top 5 of most pressurized quarterbacks next season, but there's a lot of pressure on him as well. Look at the rest of the NFC North. They're not going anywhere. Even though we don't know what J.J. McCarthy is going to be in Minnesota, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt just because of Kevin O'Connell. So he's going to have to step up, and a lot of people are like, okay, Ryan Poles gave you the head coach you wanted. Year 2, Roma Dunze, you got a coach who's going to be using DJ Moore the way DJ Moore is going to be used. They rebuilt the offensive line. There's going to be not a lot of excuses left for this kid next year if he doesn't step up. So I'm really eager to see what he's going to do, what this really will start next month. Next month is when the new league year officially starts, where you can start being in contact with the coaching staff, and OTAs are right around the corner. I want to see some of these group workouts. We already see the defense is doing that. Grady Jarrett has been here, 2 weeks? And he's already linking up with Montez Sweat, Gervon Dexter, Austin Booker out there in Los Angeles, and they're working together. I want to see that on the offensive side as well. I want to see Caleb link up with DJ Moore, link up with Roma Dunze, link up with a couple of new wide receivers they got, and start working now. Because I really think this needs to be a very high-intensity camp, and it's got to be something where you're setting the tone for the season. Because on paper, this is going to be a tough schedule. And I understand I don't really do the schedule toughness type thing because it's a year-to-year league and a lot of things change. But even just off 8 games, your division is going to be tough. That's 6 games right there. So then you add the other 2 games that for sure are going to be tough. That's going to Philadelphia and that's going to Baltimore. That's half your schedule. So I'm going to need Caleb Williams to really, really take the things he didn't do didn't do well in his rookie campaign, do it this year and do it at a high level. Bang, what are you trying to see from Caleb, or what are your expectations for Caleb in year 2?
Man, I'm just looking for just to see where this is gonna go. I don't want to put too much of that sauce on him yet because we know what the coaching staff was, right? I remember saying early in the season that it feels like that the coaching staff is not really coaching. They're treating this man like he's a 5-year vet and he's coming in to save the day. And that wasn't the case. And we saw evidence of that. And that's pretty much what we've been told, right? Coaching is going to install that leadership and all of that stuff in there. Also, having vets around him, quality vets around him, is going to do that. We asked Nick last week about the backup quarterback situation, and do they go get a vet or they stay with Bajan? I think they need to go get a vet that's going to be able to help that man out and be able to, point him in the right direction of things. So I'm not putting a lot of onus on Caleb, only because of what he had available to coach him in the first place. I also don't want people to sit up here and think that I'm giving them that I am putting the cape on for him. Like, no. If you look at Ben Johnson and you look at the staff that's around him, I expect him to be better. I expect that already. And with the leadership thing, I don't expect him. And I also believe that the leadership thing, that's one of the big things that they put on him way too early. You have to grow into that leadership position in the NFL locker room. You can't just be anointed a leader as a rookie. Too many unfair expectations was put on that kid by us, not realizing what he had to teach him those things. So because of that, I'm not putting anything on Caleb for year 2. I'm putting it on the coaching staff. And if the coaching staff is as good as that we believe that they are, all of that is going to change because he's going to have the people to put him in that direction. Now, if it does not change, if we see the Caleb that people were fearing on the US coming out of USC in the first place, some of the stuff that we saw there, then that's when I'm going to start to question that. But I don't think we've ever gotten a chance to see that given the circumstances.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think that this has got to be something where, like, obviously they're not going to have to be super, super fast because it's going to take a while to get into a new offense, but I'm definitely going to need to see a quicker start than last year because I don't feel this schedule is going to allow them to get off of the slow start. And so I think it's going to be key in it. I want to see a lot of games this year where they win because of. And I think that there needs to be proper expectations, but there should be expectations. I don't think it should be anything where, like, oh, we didn't have this and that and that, and he didn't. But if he's the guy we all expect him to be, and now coming off, whether right or wrong, the season that Jaden Daniels had last year, the season that Bo Nix had last year, and I think the Drake May shit is very overrated. People give him a lot more than they need to be giving him. But he needs to really put himself in assert himself right away and say, okay, got a system around me, got the parts, I got offensive line. This is what I'm here to do, and I'm here to do it. That's what I need to see early, man. Like I said, we're in draft season going on. Well, we got the draft is officially a month away today. We're gonna talk about the top 3 spots in hour 2, because it really feels like that is starting to come along in the focus of who exactly going to be the first 3 picks. But sticking with the Chicago Bears, you want to say, where are the Bears going to go at Big Ten? There's a lot of mock drafts coming out now, and I even saw Brad Biggs' first mock draft. He talked about it this morning on the Score. He has the Bears going Will Campbell at pick number 10. For me, I don't think there's really a wrong answer here for the Bears. I really think this pick is truly best player available because of the offseason they've had. Having said that, I'll prefer it be a trench pick, whether offensive or defensive, because yes, the offensive line has been fixed. I like it. There's a lot of vets in this offensive line now. But at the same time, these guys only on 2-3 year deals. They're older. You still need some younger guys who are going to be, here for the long haul. Even after Joe Tooney or Jackson and, all the guys who they signed are, getting towards the end of their contracts. So Will Campbell could be an option. It's definitely a lot of options, but I also think that defense cannot be ignored as well. Ashton Jeanty, we talked about that on the show last week. I don't know yet if that is something that the Bears need to be doing because of it's a luxury pick. This is not a running back league, right? I mean, Saquon has brought it back a little bit, but everybody ain't Saquon. So I feel like if that's a pick that Ben Johnson wants to make, I'm going to trust Ben Johnson because he knows what he wants this offense. But this needs to be a trench pick, in my personal opinion. But I really do feel that there's so many different ways they could go. I hope they stay at pick 10. I've never been a fan of trading back. I just never have in any situation. I get the reasoning behind it. I don't disagree with people who feel like they should trade back. But for me personally, I think you should always take the best player available. So offensive, defense here, if I had to lean between the two, I'll probably say defense. And I'm still not as confident with the defensive line, even with the new additions that they have on the team right now. Ben, which way right now do you think you'd like to see them go, offensive, defense, for pick 10?
Trenches. What is offensive, defensive line? Genty's not going to be there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see Jeanty going past the Raiders with their 6th pick. So I really would love to see the trenches. And if the caveat here is if you feel strongly about Braxton Jones and you feel like he's going to be healthy, then there you go. You go on defensive line. There's a number of defensive linemen around that time that you could get. But there also is where you have them on your board. That's where trading back is perfect. If you let's use James Pierce, because everybody knows on this show that I'm a big fan of his. If he's the number one player on your board when you get the 10, but you know you can get him at 12 or 13 or whatever, you trade back and you get some assets. But it's depending on who you have on your board. Now, Will Campbell, look, they've scared me about the Will Campbell thing with the dinosaur arms and stuff like that. So we'll be interested to see if that is the pick, and if that is the pick, where do you put him? Do you put him at tackle? Are you comfortable with what he got, 32 and 5/8 arms? Are you comfortable with the dude at 32 and 5/8 arms being your starting left tackle? Are you comfortable with moving Darnell Wright to left tackle and putting him at right? Do you put him you can't put him in the trenches because you've already solidified your trenches. You're not going to use a top 10 pick on him and not start him if that's the case. So you can see what his arms too short to box with God or whatever. Nah. So I think the pick is going to be defensive lineman. I'm looking at what's my man name? Williams at Georgia, Stewart at Texas A&M as the first two candidates that come to mind, or just trading back to get people that you're comfortable with on your board.
Yeah, and there's a edge guy who is in Michigan, because I'm trying to figure out his fucking name.
Talk about Mason Graham?
Yeah, is it Mason Graham?
Yeah, because he ain't gonna make it. He's not gonna make it to 10 either. If he make it to 10, look at it. Because if Mason Graham make it to 10, that's your pick. That's your pick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are you 100% sure he's not gonna make it to 10?
I don't think he's getting past Jacksonville. I don't think Mason Graham making it past Jacksonville. I don't think Genty is going past. I don't think Genty is getting past the Raiders.
I don't know. I think the Genty the Raiders thing is a lot of smoke. I think it's a lot of smoke because and not in obviously not rough drafts, but mock drafts. One thing I've learned from watching the draft, especially last couple of years, very rarely does it go the way mock drafts say.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead.
Remember last year, Roma Dunze wasn't supposed to drop to the Bears.
I thought he was going to drop. I thought he was going to drop to the Bears because I knew the only team that I figured that would get a wide receiver or could get a wide receiver was the Chargers. That was the only team. And when they went Joe Alt, that was a surprise.
Well, I think because I remember we was arguing in the chat almost all the time. Mike was like, "There's not gonna be a wide receiver for." There was a lot of people saying that there's gonna be a lot of wide receivers going in the first 5. So that's why I didn't think that Rome was gonna drop. But like Shane said, there's a lot of smoke about Mason dropping to 10. And I don't know if you saw the Michigan Pro Day video, but Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen were at the Pro Day. So not that means because obviously they're doing their job.
Look, if Mason Graham drops to 10, because I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, if they need help anywhere, is on their defensive line. I don't see Mason Graham.
They need to help a lot of places. Man.
They need to help a lot of places, but on their defensive line, especially, we can't name motherfucker to save our life. So if that were to happen and Mason Graham dropped to 10, the Bears would be celebrating, and I would be too, because that right there would solidify not only a whole lot of that would give you extra hands on the defensive line that's already improved with who you got. And you would get probably the best interior lineman. You pair him with Grady and Gervon, oh, shit. We definitely have the trenches to get out there. Then it makes it more interesting with the Bears and their pick and the Carolina pick. And here's one thing that I wouldn't be surprised about. Depending on who's available, I would not be surprised if the Bears package those 2 picks to move back into the first round.
I hope not.
It just
I
depends on
get
who's
it.
available.
I get it. I
It
just do
depends.
not like trade backs.
No trading up.
Oh, you
Trading
said trade.
into
Oh, I
the
thought you
first.
said trade back.
I know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears trade up in the first
Oh,
round.
you talking about
depending on
take
who's
the
available.
2? Oh, okay.
Yeah, take those 2 picks, and depending on who's available,
If you're doing that, you got to be 100% confident on who you drafting. Like that's got to be like Abdul Carter levels. Like
I would not be depending on who's around and who's available. Now, it wouldn't shock me because when you have those 2 picks right there, yeah, you can go and get into the early 20s and grab somebody. Or like again, it's just depending on who's available and who you want. But I believe that the Bears are going to go trenches again, and I wouldn't be shocked if, like, I don't think Tyler Warren is going to be their pick if he's available.
Yeah,
compared to some of these other people. But you go look at Mason Taylor, and I think he could be somebody that's at play in the second round.
Yeah, I don't see Tyler unless they get rid of Komet. Like if there's like a draft day Komet trade. Yeah, I can see that, but I don't think that's gonna be the case.
Yeah, not with that number 10 pick. Nah,
yeah,
not
that
10. Early.
Yeah,
second,
not the
third
early
round, and this tight end group is a deep group too.
Yeah, and so I want to see how that's gonna go, and then also too, like I was so mad that Abdul Carter had such a good playoffs because I want to say he was under the radar because he wasn't, but that postseason made him, he might be a number 1 draft pick, and I was like, damn, like. I thought people really weren't paying that much attention to it, man. But let's bring Pavy in, man. We've got the one and only Pavy here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. The man with the worst Kendrick takes on the internet. You can follow him at Pavy World on all social media platforms. He's got new music that's gonna drop this week. Pav, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. First of all, I don't have the worst Kendrick take. Secondly, yes, I do have new music that's dropping tomorrow night. So look out for that. But I'm good though. It's what 90 in LA today.
Okay, yeah, that's hot as hell.
Yeah, so I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. After this, I'm gonna go find somewhere to sit outside and eat some food and
this nigga
enjoy
said
life.
Find somewhere to sit outside like he ain't got a balcony.
Yeah, but I want to be around humans. I don't want to just sit outside to myself.
Oh, so I mean, so what you explain? You want to be around humans because you still be. I
want to go somewhere to eat and feel some energy. 90 degrees out, bro. It's the first 90 day of the year.
And the reason I say yes, worst Kendrick takes because he's the anti-Luther.
I don't like that record, bro.
It is an amazing record. I don't know what
like any of the Kendrick and SZA songs.
Well, America disagrees.
They do. That's fine. You don't like Evil Jordan? It's the number 2 record in the country.
No, the beat is crazy. The beat is nuts.
Fair.
What he's saying on there is bullshit, but the beat
he's not saying anything. The beat is beautiful.
The beat is insane. Like if you gave that to any other rapper with a pulse, imagine Future on Evil Jordan. Oh my God. Imagine Future on Evil Jordan. That would be insanity, bro. But what I did see was No Kills not on top 10. That's what I did see.
Yeah, it dropped out. But I think it's coming back up next week, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
The projections ain't even up for next week yet.
Well, whatever, we'll see. Because some of that Cardi shit gonna drop. But whatever.
All that Cardi shit's gonna drop. But we actually want to talk about some Chicago Bulls basketball. I want to get your takes on this annoying ass team. And I say they're very annoying because I wanted them to lose and get as close as you possibly can to getting the Cooper flag. Now, this is a deep draft. Like, I don't think this is a Cooper flag or bust type draft. Granted, I only know like 2 other names because it's the only show in America right now. Only sports show in America that is not discussing March Madness Day. When I tell you I didn't watch a lick of March Madness this weekend, I didn't watch
games.
And I told you I did, but I had so much stuff going on this weekend that I wasn't really paying attention like that. However, I was a travel call and half a point away from winning $3,000 on this.
Oh man, I know you.
Well, you know who did almost win $3,000? Mikey. He ain't sharing no lays in the chat.
Right? Yeah. What the fuck?
Mikey don't be sharing no lays in the chat. I told
them, man, I'm back. Dropped on parlays. He ain't dropped them parlays. Fuck Mikey.
I always see is Mikey tweet a ticket out. He like it was a good day, and they'll say like $4,000 earned. I'm like, all right, nigga.
Yeah.
You holding out.
Niggas changing up. That's what it is. Niggas is changing up. Niggas ain't on the show no more, so he changing up. He don't even be dropping links in the chat a little more.
He don't. Low key, we gotta call him out in the chat. Mikey ain't doing his job no more. But Pat, we need to talk about the Bulls. They are. I want to say they're firmly in ninth. They're not firmly in ninth, but they're firmly in the play. Right now they are currently 31 and 40. They are game up on Miami, which means right now, if the play-in starts, they have a home court up in there, Atlanta or Orlando, or on top of them by 2 games. This annoying team because I wanted them to lose, but obviously they're not. They've been playing a lot more free since Zach LaVine has been traded. You're really starting to see Montas heat up. Same thing with Kobe. And Josh Giddey has been going crazy as well. But Pat, what is and I know like from when I say what's the path to them to becoming a top 6 team, not this year, obviously. And what I mean by top 6, I mean literally seed 6. I feel like the East is too good for the Bulls to even have a plan to get into the top 5. What do you think is going to be the plan for them this offseason? Because I think they beat Miami this year in the play-in, but I don't think they can beat Orlando or Atlanta. If they did, they're going to get swept by Cleveland or Boston. What do you think what the plan should be coming into this offseason?
I mean, personally, I like what the Bulls got going on. Like, I've watched a few Bulls games recently. I watched the Bulls Lakers game. Obviously, I think that was kind of like a little bit of a admiration. Just like Bron's first game back or whatever. Like the Lakers just kind of look kind of like this interested in that game. But I also watched the Orlando game when Kobe White scored his career high. I think it was like 45. Like I think the Bulls, I think their mind state was let's try to lose, but the problem is they can't. Like you said, Josh Giddey has been stepping up. I think Josh Giddey had 17, 10, and 12. Josh Giddey was my pick for most improved player this season. Like Josh Giddey can play. I know, he's had his issues or whatever, but Josh Giddey can play.
His last game, he had 15, 17, and 8 steals.
Yeah, like the problem with Josh Giddey in OKC was if I have Shea on the court, I'm gonna give Shea the ball. I'm not gonna give Josh Giddey the ball. That doesn't mean also because he can't shoot. That doesn't mean Josh Giddey can't play. Matas, first, what people know about Matas is if you looked at mock drafts like 2 years ago, Matas was the number 1 pick in the draft. He went to the G League. I think the G League at night. Sometimes, like, guys kind of get lost in the G League, right? Like, we talking about March Madness. March Madness is a thing where if you have a good we've seen guys, like, for instance, the main person I think about, Tyrese Thomas. Tyrese Thomas, before he had that championship run, was not the number 1 pick. He had that championship run and became the number 1 pick. So I think, guys, when you go to the G League, sometimes you can kind of get lost in the shuffle. But if you look at mock drafts in, like, I want to say 2021, 2022, Matas was the number 1 pick in the draft. So, he's finally playing like he's playing way more free. That move he hit on Luka, granted, it was Luka, and Luka can't move his feet, but it was still a crazy-ass move. And Kobe White, bro, like, Kobe was a guy to me that I always thought Kobe was like Lou Williams, right? And I still think Kobe is more so Lou Williams, but
and then he's taller than Lou Williams.
He's like, I think he's like 6'4".
Yeah, like Kobe. People think like Kobe 6'4". Like 6'2". Kobe 6'5".
Yeah, facts. Yeah, facts. So like. I think really for the Bulls, internal growth, right? Like you got Billy Donovan. I don't want to say Billy Donovan is a college coach, but I think Billy Donovan does do better with young players. Yes, internal growth, right? Like you think that next year Mattis can come back and he can give you 16 points a night. You think Giddey is more comfortable, he can give you what he's gonna give you. You see if Kobe White can actually be a 20-point per game scorer every single night. And you still got Vucevic. Like they have a solid core guy. Even like Dalen Terry? He's been playing much better. So like I think that when you move Zach out the way and you move some of these other pieces out the way, you kind of like empower the young guys and they're playing free. And again, I kind of like what they have going on. I think for a top 6 seed, I think it's gonna be tough, but I think it's gonna be tough just because the East in the next 2-3 years is gonna be a really, really good conference. So I think that might be tough, but I think that they can, just be at least a team that has something to say. And it's like when you come to Chicago, you're not just walking there like, oh, I'm gonna just run through the Bulls at the UC.
They're not gonna be the get right game. Because you never want to be the get right game. I think the only issue I have here is Josh Giddey's gonna be looking for a very big contract this offseason. And with the way that the salary cap has been going, how much you think a Josh Giddey contract be right now? I've seen some people say 200 million, but that's
no, he's not.
That's asinine.
I would
That's
say
asinine.
4 for 120.
Okay. That's still a lot. I mean, but in this market, it's not. But
it sounds crazy, but in this market, it's really not. Fucking Emmanuel quickly got 190.
Right.
Well, hold on. Emmanuel quickly got 190.
Yeah, he got.
I think he got like 190.
Toronto.
I think that was a big ass contract.
He got 190 from Toronto.
That's
somebody wild as hell got a big contract, but then when you look at this shit, these contracts ain't as big as we would think because of the way things are right now. That's all I'm saying.
The Celtics just sold for $6.1 billion, bro. They got the money. Teams got the money.
Yeah, I get that. It's just weird when you see certain players get that amount, even though the market says that that's not bad. It just looks wild. Like Emmanuel quickly is just not supposed to get $190 million. Like even though in the market it's like okay, that's not that bad. It still just looks wild.
No, that's still crazy. Nah, I don't care what
it looks wild.
Quickly for 190 is crazy.
Like 200 million for Josh Giddey is insanity. Like for me, like I get it, but I just don't like. For me, as a Bulls fan, I have not watched the game in almost 3 years, front to back. I have not watched the Bulls game in almost 3 years. But from watching from afar and seeing this stuff and seeing highlights, it's kind of frustrating because I want to like the road to even a top 4 seed looks like it's years away. Like if you're saying we're not gonna go out there and spend money on free agency, okay, cool. But what's your plan? What's your plan? Like, are you just making a plan every year? Is that what you're trying to do? And the thing for Bulls ownership that's annoying, they're not gonna put any actual pressure on AK to do his job. They let John Paxson stay for 2 decades. So this is small compared to how long they let John Paxson. I actually think the AK is doing a way worse job than John Paxson ever did. And that's saying a lot because I thought he was god awful. So and instead of thinking about competing for a championship, because I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime as a Bulls fan again. What is there? Do you think a Matas and a Giddey can be like the pieces to eventually get that to when you were hosting a home court playoff series?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like again, we will see. I don't know. Like, we got to see how much Matas is like able to grow. Like, can he again? Didn't he just have like I think 38 points a few nights ago? Yeah. Like, we got to see if he can be a guy who can like give you 20. We got to see if Giddey can be a triple-double threat every single night, which I think he already kind of is. But we got to see if his shot can get better. We got to see if Kobe White can be a 20-point per game guy. But if I got Kobe, I got Giddey, and I got Buzelis, and also I got Vucevic. That's a solid 4 pieces. Then you add in Dalen Terry with that. They will still have a solid draft pick. One thing you can say about the Bulls is outside of the Patrick Williams pick, which I think that pick
terrible.
Yeah, but also that was a weird year, right? Like you didn't have March Madness, you didn't have a combine. Like that was a weird year. That was the COVID year. If you actually have all those things, Patrick Williams is probably a mid-lottery pick and not the 4th pick in the draft. He is also caught up in he looks like Kawhi Leonard, so draft him type thing. That like how PG been getting people drafted for a while, how KD been getting people drafted. Kawhi also gets people drafted.
Still mad at the Bulls for not getting Tyrese Halliburton. That's who I thought they was gonna get.
Again, if you have an actual March Madness that year, Iowa State may make the Sweet 16. He may have some moments, but you don't have that because it was a COVID year. So again, like I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question, but I do think they have some genuine, fun, young pieces moving ahead, and they don't really have any really bad contracts. Patrick Williams' contract is bad, but currently they don't really have. But it's not awful. It's 5 years, $90 million, but that 5 years, $90 million will be like a role player salary. Yeah, like that'll be a role player salary in like 2-3 years. So they don't really have any really bad contracts as well.
And Scott, I know me and you disagree on this. But I look at how AK is building the Bulls, how they built the Denver Nuggets. They didn't go out and get no massive star. Jokic was a second-round pick who was drafted when a food commercial was on. They looked up on that. They traded Nurkic and got some pieces there. That team was literally built off of the late lottery going into the 20s. That's how that team was built. So when you look at the Bulls right now, that's damn near kind of how they were built. Mid to late lottery. Kobe was the 7th pick. Matas was the 10th pick. I won't say they lucked up on Matas because Matas was projected to be the number 1 pick before the year before he was drafted. So you have somebody talent-wise that people thought was going to be or had the potential to be at least a top 3 pick in the NBA draft. So you got that piece right there. Also, to think about is Billy Donovan. Look, Billy Donovan I don't want to call him a college coach, but Billy Donovan with young players, Billy Donovan with vets and shit. Just go look at what happened with Zach LaVine and shit. So this Bulls team is really playing to the strengths of the head coach that they have currently in place right now. And if they don't make it, hey, luck fuck around and get one of those top 3 picks. It's happened before. But I say all that to say, this is a Bulls team. I've watched enough games this year, not a lot, but enough to be like, yo, this is what we wanted them to do in the first place. We just wanted them to lose. We wanted them to be competitive and lose. But the fact that they're competitive and they're winning, and this draft is deep enough to where you can get somebody in this draft in at least the top 15 picks, either one of the stars at the beginning of it, or definitely give you some good depth on this team. I'm not mad at what I'm seeing, because if this team was as tough as we thought they were, they would not be in this position.
I agree with that. I need Adam Silver to freeze that envelope for your boy. Like
that he needs to do that.
Like you owe me, nigga. It's been a long time.
Don't.
You owe me. You owe me. Yes, he does owe me.
No,
he owes Bulls
number
fans.
1 pick is probably gonna go to Utah or some shit like that.
Like I said, he owes me. Why you want to see that nigga go to Utah? I'm like,
you don't want to see him in Chicago. You want to see him.
The entire world rather see him in Chicago than Utah. Nobody outside of Utah wants to see that nigga in Utah.
I think it's a great story.
Nope, forget the story. The story would be getting the Bulls back to being relevant, nigga. That's a better story than the Utah Jazz. Like, and that's not even debatable. That's not even debatable. That's not even debatable, bro. How's that even debatable?
I think the more small market teams that feel like they have a chance to compete.
That's the NBA's problem now. Nobody cares about small markets.
But listen though, I think the more small market teams that have a chance to compete, a team like Utah, who when we were growing up, Utah was a model franchise. Shit, they made the playoffs for 20 years straight. They made the finals 2 times. Like, I think the more small market teams that are good, especially in that part of the country, I think it's a good thing. Especially
they about to freeze that joint for the Brooklyn Nets.
Or that.
I can see that, but see, that's a big market. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm anti-small market. Look, I understand that from a basketball perspective, the OKC Thunder versus Cleveland Cavaliers be a great series. But ain't nobody finna care. Them, even though ratings don't really matter, them ratings will be in the gutter. You know what people want? I'm gonna tell you what people want. People want Lakers Celtics. That's what niggas want. Give the people what they want. Like, you have LeBron, he's trying to get ring 5. Can Luka get ring number 1? Can the Celtics repeat? The rivalry, that's what people want to see. Now, the Bulls, definitely not in the same category as the Lakers or the Celtics, but this is the franchise that if you give them something, it's still top 2 in merch. They've been number 1 in attendance for like a decade. Give them a star. That's all I'm saying. Like, give them a star. I understand it can help Milwaukee. It can help Utah. It can help if he went to OKC or something like that. Forget them. Even if he goes to Brooklyn, that makes more sense because it's a bigger market. For the NBA is more on markets and players than any other league, in my opinion. That would help. And so if you take that, you telling me, let's just say the Bulls get lucky they get a Bailey or Cooper Flag. You put them with a Josh Giddey and a Montas and a Kobe White. That's not fun to watch.
I mean, you put Cooper Flag on Utah. It's fun to watch.
Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see that nigga with Laurie. I don't want to see that.
I'm just saying, it's fun to watch.
And what? They're not even gonna make the play with that roster. Like it's not gonna happen. Like that's why I feel like
probably not.
They
in
need
2-3 years maybe.
Adam Silver, you owe me. Okay, I have not been excited for Bulls basketball like legitimately in a decade.
He gave you Derrick Rose.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Excuse me, but that was one of the best gifts in the history of gifts.
It was, but that gift was almost 20 years old. 20 years old.
I'm just saying.
Which is insane, by the way.
It is crazy.
Which is insane. Derrick Rose, the 2008 draft will be 17 years ago.
Fuck.
In June. That is just crazy to me. He said Adam owns all Chicago. Yeah, man. But we're going to take a quick break. Be back on the other side. The homie Tosin is going to join. We're going to get into how the Western Conference going to shake out. I think like seed 2 down to seed 9 are all separated by like 3 games. We're going to talk about Anthony Davis. He might be returning to the court tonight, which I didn't see coming. Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. That's looking like it's going to be inevitable. And we're going to talk about the top 3 picks in the NFL draft. Look like they're coming around, man. So we'll be back in 1 minute here on I'm Not Going to Hold You.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not.
And we are back here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It's your boy Scott here with Pavy and JR Bain, man. The homie Tosin should be joining us in just a moment. Pat, man, before we go on to our next one, tell the people what to expect from this new record you got dropping tomorrow.
It's kind of introspective. It's called Thoughts Down Beverly Glen. It's pretty much, I think it's an introspective record. So yeah, look out for that. I think it's something cool. I think the sample is dope. You'll recognize it. And
check out that tomorrow night on all your streaming platforms, man. Gonna wait for Tosin to come because we're gonna get into we're gonna start watching soccer, people. I'm gonna try to get into a new sport. We're gonna go through this process. We're gonna show y'all each week how long it's gonna take me to understand this thing. And I am accepting different pitches from fans out there. Which team should I root for? Let me know which team. Manchester United are the Chicago Bulls and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but like it's the most famous team. It's like you root for the fucking Miami Hurricanes. Same concept.
Yeah, but at least Miami Hurricanes were decent this year. at least they're decent this year. But this is perfect time to bring the homie Tosin on, man. Tosin, welcome back to the show, my brother. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How's everyone doing? Everyone's good?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good, man. I was just telling them about my journey that I'm starting, trying to get into soccer. Even though I know it's called football. I will never call football, but I will call it. I'll be watching starting next week. Tosin helped put me on. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, trying to get my knowledge up to what's going on, man. But I've been trying to take pictures on what team should I root for. I see somebody in the chat says I should come root for Tottenham. I've been to the stadium.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't listen to them. They hate you. That's why they told you that, because they hate you.
I heard when I watched on YouTube that video, what team should you root for 2024, 2025? Somebody compared Tottenham to the Buffalo Bills. Like they never get it done.
Call them that. I wouldn't even call them the Bills. Tottenham are habitual losers. That's what they are.
Oh, okay.
They're habitual losers. The last time they won a trophy, I was applying to college. That's the last time they won.
So I'm not necessarily a fan of going after like being a fan of the big guys, but like who is the team that is on the come up and got a chance to be special? Like that's the team I want to jump.
Also, what league are we talking about?
I'm watching Premier League.
Premier League. Yeah, there's hella teams. I mean, honestly, right now, the team that's probably up and coming is Arsenal. As much as that hates me to say it.
I heard of them.
Just because Arsenal's got so many young talents coming up, it's just they're super talented right now. Like Miles Lewis Skelly is really good. Ethan Wanyeri is really good. They're both 18. Bukayo Saka is obviously there. He's probably the second best player in the world in this position. So Arsenal's probably the best if you want to root for a team that's up and coming is Arsenal. But again, you're asking somebody who supported Man United since he was 5. So like I hate everybody. So
and this thing
bias shit for me because I hate everybody.
So Man United, and by the way, our producer Nikhil, he's an Arsenal fan. He pitched me before we came on air, and he said Tottenham is the Jaguars. That's what he just said. So you're a Man United fan, and from everything that I've seen, they said Man United is like the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bulls, where they had a run, but they ain't really had a run since.
I mean, they're almost like. Their pool is almost like it's effectively the Yankees, Lakers, Cowboys, right? Like if you want to break it down that way. What happened to Man United, I'm not trying to preach and like trying to say whatever, but they have the same owners as the Bucks, and the Glazer family have done
Milwaukee Bucks?
Nah, the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they've done like irreparable damage to that club.
Damn,
like
boy, getting money.
When they took over Man United in 2005, Man United had zero debt. They had zero debt, and now Man United has over like close to 2 billion pounds of debt because of them. So, yeah,
you know how much that is in USD? That's like 5 billion USD in debt.
Yeah, Man United's like it's like $2.5 billion in debt. It's something crazy. Like, and it basically what they did is they did a leverage buyout. So they got loans and put all that debt onto the club. So, and then they didn't even run the club properly. So, like, we're just now starting to get like the sporting direction and the things that's like now supposed to happen in 2020. Like, shit should have happened like 10 years ago. It's now happening now. So, it's tough being a Man United fan, but it is what it is. Liverpool's another up and coming team. Well, not up and coming. Liverpool's one of the best teams in the league right now.
Yeah, is Liverpool like number 1 or are they number 2?
Yeah, they're gonna probably win the title this year more than likely.
Yeah, that's just trash, bro. You're never gonna see Liverpool play because you're not going to Liverpool.
Yeah, that's one thing too, Scott. Like, if you're gonna be a fan of these teams, you gotta remember. If you're not supporting a team in London, you gotta go up north or somewhere like you just don't want to go.
At least Manchester has a Soho House, and I've seen Manchester nightlife. Like Manchester, I actually want to go to Manchester.
So you think I should base my soccer fandom on who has the best nightlife?
No, you should base your soccer fandom on where you want to actually go.
Yeah,
but see, where does Man City play? What is Manchester?
Manchester.
Yeah, okay. So didn't we? Okay, now I'm showing my I've only been to London one time, but didn't we get off on one of the Manchester spots? Pav, is that do they play in that area?
No.
Okay, that's different area.
Manchester. Okay, that's a whole different city, bro. It's like
LA
to the Bay.
Hey, this nigga Pavy, I asked a question. This nigga is acting like you the dumbest nigga of all time. I was asking a sincere question.
No. Listen, it's like LA to the Bay.
Oh, okay. That's far. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
It's like a 3-hour train ride, I think.
Man City had a huge run, but now Pep might be leaving this year, so they might be on the decline. That's from what I've been hearing.
Pep's not going anywhere. Pep's not going anywhere. But I mean, again, City, they got really good owners in 08. Because before that, nobody gave a fuck about Man City, like at all. They got really good owners now, and like they're rich. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just like everyone has their day. Like Liverpool back in the 70s and 80s were that team. Then they fell off in the 90s and 2000s, and now they're back. Same thing with Man United. Like 90s, 2000s, Man United were that team, and then they fell off. So just ebbs and flows and things like that. But it's just really I wouldn't pick a team until fall. I wouldn't pick a team. I'll just keep watching the games and just try to see who you vibe with. Like that's the big thing, is just picking a team you vibe with, picking players you like, because once you stick to a team, like you can't switch a team. Like that's never gonna happen. So
yeah, right. And the thing too, I know I'm picking a team. See, the teams that I root for in my major sports leagues or American sports leagues, I had no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
I had no choice. You think I'd have picked the Bears if I had a choice? Come on now. Let's be real. I had no choice. When I was born, they cut the umbilical cord and slapped the Bears hat on my head. I had no choice.
And then you became a vice lord.
Oh no. The Lord's out west. I got no, absolutely not.
Bang looked at me. He was like, "Hey, hold on now. What's happening?"
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will not get.
Okay, all right.
He said, "I got." Oh, Nikhil said he got the Arsenal ticket plug. All right.
Yeah, we need that.
That's a nice nice bribe right there.
I will say, as a professional Arsenal hater, Arsenal are the culture club of England. Like they've always been like the culture club, but Arsenal always finds a way to disappoint you in the most hilarious way. So that's the trade-off. Like you're going for the club with like all the niggas at. Like that's historically where all the black people, you know, culturally wise, would like support Arsenal.
What we doing? We know what we doing there.
Yeah. But the thing is, the last time Arsenal won the league, I was in middle school.
I mean, you know.
Hey, don't win every year.
That's 21 years, man. That's 21 long years. So I don't know. It's really just your choice. I can't really make a choice for you. I made Kevin on stage a Man United fan, and that man is suffering right now. So
the last time my basketball team won a championship, Bill Clinton was in office. That's how long DMX had the #1 album in the country. The last time my favorite basketball team won a championship, and I'm up here spending 20 minutes talking about Josh Giddey. Yeah, right. The first album. Now I'm spending 20 minutes talking about Josh Giddey and Kobe White. This is what it has come down to. Now, final question before we actually move on to other stuff. What should be the things I should watch for these next 2 months of the season?
So basically the season's kind of wrapped up at this point, right? Like in the Premier League, because Liverpool are they've got a big ass league. You're not really going to catch up to Liverpool at this point. I think the biggest thing you look for is Champions League, right? Like how Arsenal's going to do in Champions League. You're going to be an Arsenal fan and play against Real Madrid. Second thing is just who's having fun. I mean, that's really it. It's towards the end of the season, you're going to start seeing a lot of the younger players come through, depending on like where other teams are. So it's just really about having fun. And Arsenal probably have some of the best youngsters in the league. So that's really it. It's just trying to find a team that has the most fun and plays the most fun football. I mean, right now, Arsenal don't have a striker, so it's going to be very ugly football you're going to watch. You might just like, damn, this shit's ugly. But it's really just about who you vibe with and who you're having fun with. That's really it.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I've been looking at like, you know, what the schedule's going to look like. A lot of them should be on wild early. But we gonna figure it out.
6:30.
Yeah. I can't even walk at 6:30 in the morning. Trying to use the bathroom at 6:30 is like, you ever notice when you get old, when you get in your 30s and you wake up in the morning, like you learning how to walk again. In the morning, it's like, all right, nigga. Like it's like it takes longer. Huh?
No, I ain't at that point.
That's because you come in the house at 6:30 in the morning, nigga. That's why. You going to bed at 6:30. But so my last question. This Champions League, so I understand that's like the top 4 in the Premier League. They go into the Champions League. That's like a single elimination tournament type deal.
Nah, so Champions League is basically the best teams in Europe, right? So like you have the teams from Spain, England, basically every team in Europe, right? It's like a long tournament that runs from like July to June. So July through August, September is like the, you know, trying to get ready, like all the like teams that aren't the sexiest teams in the world trying to qualify for the main tournament properly. So it's basically a long tournament of all the best teams in Europe trying to win this trophy, right? And that's really it. And you have the other version, Europa League is like the best of the worst. And then the Conference League is the best of like the worst of the worst. So that's basically it. So it's like you're trying to battle to be the best team in Europe effectively. It's like a round robin tournament of
gotcha. Okay.
And they changed the rules this year. This year was like the first year they've changed like the way the group stage was set out. So but yeah, it's like all the best teams, and then like if you win the Europa League, you qualify for the next year's Champions League. So yeah.
I do think they need to bring relegation to American sports. It'll never happen. But they need to.
Nah. See, there's too much money to be made.
Right. There's way too much money for that to happen, but they need to.
Yeah.
It'll stop tanking, nigga. It'll stop tanking for sure. And send them niggas to the G League.
Yeah, send the Bulls. Send the Wizards to the G League for real. Send them niggas all the way down. The
Wizards might not even win in the G League. Like that's how. Somebody said Cooper Flag was like, I'm gonna go back to college. They're like, Wizards gonna be still there next year. Ain't nothing gonna change.
Nah, I don't think the Wizards had a pick next year.
Who has they pick?
I think it's the Knicks.
The Knicks had the Wizards pick?
I think now it might be some protections on it that I don't know about, but I think
It's got to be
Nah. From what I'm reading right now, because I was actually going through it. Nah, they got their pick.
it's in the. I think it's a year after that. One of these years they don't have a pick. The Knicks got it.
Yeah, he's not staying there for 3 years. They send the Wizards to the Mac. I want to talk about the Western Conference in the NBA, how it's all shaping up. Obviously, the Oklahoma City Thunder running away with the number 1 seed. They got like a 13.5 lead on the Houston Rockets, but seed 2 through 6. We're just going to talk about seed 2 through 6, how we see this shaping out. Right now, you got the Houston Rockets. They are 46-26. They're the number 2 seed. You got the Denver Nuggets. They're the 3 seed. The Lakers are the 4 seed. Memphis is the 5 seed. And the Warriors are the 6 seed. But right behind them, separated by a game and by a half game of the game, is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Clippers. To me, I think when this all shapes out, because right now you got the Denver Nuggets only a game behind Houston. The Lakers only a game behind, or 2 games behind Houston for the number 2 seed as well. I think Houston is on a crazy run right now, obviously. 9-1 in their last 10. They've really been hooping. Even though that looks like a team that, even though they're having a good regular season, I don't think it's a team that if they play anybody in the first round, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably taking the other team in a 7-game series. But I think that the 2 seed is probably gonna be Denver, in my opinion. I can see the Lakers getting up to number 3. But I do feel like Memphis is gonna stay where they're right now. And I was gonna say that Golden State maybe have a chance to get the 5, and they're only 2 games behind. But I think the Steph Curry injury is gonna slow them down just a little bit. And I do think that either the Clippers or the Minnesota Timberwolves have a very good chance to get up in there as well. I just don't see Memphis as bad as they've been playing. I won't say bad, but even though Ja Morant don't look like the old Ja Morant to me, like I don't know who this nigga is. Somebody must have kidnapped the real Ja. They took his guns away, and now he ain't playing like he used to play. I don't see them dropping all the way down to where they have to worry about a play-in or shit like that. So right now, I probably have to go Denver number two. I'm gonna go Lakers number 3, Houston number 4, and I'm gonna keep Memphis at 5. And I think Golden State stays at 6, despite where Minnesota and the Clippers are coming from. But I think if there's any team in the play-in who probably has a chance to make some noise, I'm still gonna say Minnesota. I understand Kawhi's been hooping, actually playing ball. I understand that James Harden, even though he got hurt, is somebody that could really hoop when it comes in the playoffs. But I'm just not putting money on them. By the way, Pavy, I was down the club.
No, that's not what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about me with my voice. But
no.
But are you talking about James Harden?
No. I'll put it.
Never mind. Anyway, that's how I see that falling out for the rest of the league. Pav, how you think the West is gonna shake out from 2 to 6 seed?
Man, bro, it's complicated, bro. I don't even have a definitive answer. I do think that Houston is gonna stay at number 2. I think that Houston, like you said, I think Houston been having a great regular season. They're one of the younger teams, so they've just been healthier pretty much than anybody throughout the season. So I think Houston stays at 2. I think Denver. I honestly, I think that the only thing that might change is like Minnesota moves up to 6. I don't think Memphis falls. I mean, well, honestly, Minnesota could move up to even 5 because I don't think Memphis is going to really start winning basketball games just because like they have so many guys in and out of the lineup consistently. And yeah, I would have picked the Warriors to end up the 5th seed, but I'm with you. Granted, I know Steph isn't like not like he like is down bad, but he's definitely gonna miss some games. And I think Steph misses some games. They'll probably take some L's. But yeah, I think Minnesota jumps up, but I think the rest of it pretty much stays the same. And I think the play-in, I know we haven't gotten to it yet, so I don't want to completely go into it. But I know with AD coming back, I mean Dallas was losing some games, but if AD coming back and the Suns are winning some games as well, I think that 10th and final spot will be something that will be fought over. And yeah, but I think for the most part, everything kind of stays the same. I just think that the Timberwolves move up now because of Steph's injury. And I want to say the Clippers. I really want to say the Clippers because, again, Kawhi, I think over the past 5 games, he's been giving you 26 points, 50% shooting, 40% from 3. I think 2.6 steals. So he's been looking back like to old Kawhi. But I'ma still say the Timberwolves. Just with Randall coming back, they got Rudy back now. They've been playing much better. I'ma still say the Wolves to move up, and probably the Warriors to fall out and be in the play-in.
So you think the Lakers gonna stay where they at? You think LeBron's injury screwed them?
Yeah. I think the Lakers stay round 4, and I think as I know Jokic missed some games, but Jokic isn't the guy who just gets hurt for real. So I think that Denver will continue to win at the pace that they've been winning, and the Lakers probably stay where they are.
That's something for me. The Lakers, I don't think they want to stay at that spot because you don't want to see OKC in the second round. Like you want to avoid them
regardless.
niggas. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it just looks better.
If you're scared, what you come here for?
I get that. I don't think LeBron or Luka scared of them niggas. I'm just saying, I would, from a matchup perspective, I would much rather see Houston in the second round than I would rather see Oklahoma City.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's not a guarantee that they make it out the first round.
Who, the Lakers?
No, no, not them. Well, them too, depending on who they play. I'm talking about the Thunder. Like the bottom of that conference, bro. It's not a guarantee they make it out, bro.
Am I the only one who's like really believe? Because I feel like a lot of people are getting off the Thunder bandwagon these last couple weeks.
I'm not off the bandwagon. I just think that anybody that they will play, well, not really. Yeah, I think anybody that they can play can give them some go, and it can be a 6-game series. If they play the Clippers, I think number one, you're penciling in for a 6-game series as long as Kawhi is healthy. Harden gonna be in hell the whole series, hell. But as long as Kawhi is healthy, I think we get to 6 games.
You know what's crazy about the Thunder? They got a dude that looks just like Duke Dennis, but he's Asian. That's just crazy. Jalen Williams looks just like Duke Dennis. I was watching the other day. I was like, that's Duke Dennis right there, but Asian.
Asian Duke Dennis is hilarious.
Blasian, excuse me, because he's definitely half black. But yeah, he's definitely like Bizarro World Duke Dennis. I was watching him. I was like, yo, who is this dude? But got a triple-double the other day, apparently. So good for him.
That's funny as hell. How do you see the West playing out, Tosin?
Same things Pav's saying. I think the only team that might drop out is the Warriors because of Steph. But I mean, I just think the Warriors are gonna lock in eventually. They're gonna realize like, all right, it's time to stop fucking around and like let's get back to where we're going. But I just do think like the Timberwolves just got to figure it out. I mean, them getting healthy again is good. The Grizzlies, like you said, I don't know what's happening with Ja. Maybe they need to lock him in the room and make him listen to Youngboy again for him to like realize who he is, because it's been weird watching Ja this season. Like, yo, we know you're talented, but why are you playing the way that you're playing? So I still think things are going to stay the same for the most part. The only team I really can see moving up is the Timberwolves, like we said. But it's interesting because I feel like a lot of these teams are checked out. Like I think it gets to a point in the NBA season when people are like, all right, this is over. Like we just want to wait for the playoffs. And that's the same thing happened with the Celtics last year. They kind of checked out, and then as soon as the playoffs hit, they were like, okay, now we're taking this shit more seriously. So I'm just more excited to see where everybody like lands up and then how they like progress from there.
I just want to say, Orlando, you wow for that comment, brother. I am not throwing that on the screen, but that is hilarious. Bang, how do you see the Western Conference standings filling out?
I mean, from what I've seen and what I've watched, this is just one of those situations where I think the last games of the season is going to really pinpoint who's going to be where. It reminds me of what was that year when Cleveland had ended up getting the 2 seed or something like that. That year that LeBron James went to the finals. And they end up like losing to something at the end of the season, got the 2 seed or whatever, and they had end up going to the finals. That's how it's going to shake out. I also believe that seeding don't matter in the West. When you have, there you go, 2007. Yeah, I also believe that the seeding don't matter with this one because I don't see Houston going to a Western Conference Finals. And Memphis is one of those teams, no matter where they're at, because like you just said earlier, Ja Morant, is a shell of himself. Or maybe he just need guns and things around him to be great. It goes back to what I said like a while ago about Tiger Woods. Yeah, about Freaky Sean. Hey, sometimes you need to be around debauchery in order for you to be successful. But yeah, I don't think standings matter when it comes to the Western Conference Finals at all. I think it's the Nuggets, the Lakers, and the Warriors, maybe the Timberwolves if they could turn it on at the right time. And right now, like if the playoffs ended today, I think the Rockets play against the Timberwolves.
Well, the Rockets will play the winner of the Timberwolves Clippers game.
Oh yeah, I forgot play-in stuff. Yeah, and the Timberwolves might not even beat the Clippers. So I think when you look at the Rockets, you might luck out because of that, or you might go against some more experience on paper Clippers team. I still think the West is the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Warriors, and it's depending on how that Nuggets Warriors thing shake out too.
Yeah, Nuggets Warriors be a very interesting series to me. Pat, I don't know if I asked this before, but do you think that the Lakers hype right now is too much?
No, I don't think it's too much. They've been winning games without their full roster, right? Like Rui has been out. He's a starter. Jackson Hayes was gone. Jackson Hayes, since Luka's been there, has been completely unlocked. Like Jackson Hayes means a lot to this basketball team. When he's not there, they feel the impact. So no, I don't think like the hype is like unwarranted. Again, you got Luka and Brown on the court. Luka ain't even in shape. He can't even get past nobody yet. Like, have you seen him? He can't even get past nobody. You bring in Rui back, Austin Reeves. I don't know, like man, handle pack. I don't know what the hell going on, but I guess it's real shit. So you got that. You got that three-headed monster. You bring back Rui. You got Dorian Finney-Smith. Gabe Vincent is finally playing basketball good again. Jordan Goodwin has been a surprise. And they're keeping one roster spot open. I know they just cut Cam Reddish and cut Alexander. They're keeping one spot open. I think it's for Koloko or the Jemison guy. So no, I don't think the hype is unwarranted because again, they are winning games without their full lineup. So when all those guys come back, I think you got to be excited about what they could potentially do.
All right, man. Let's move on to somebody who got traded from the Lakers, man. Anthony Davis, and according to Shams, Anthony Davis is officially returning tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. He will be in a lineup for the first time since February 8th. It don't even feel like he's been out that long, but it's been that long since he's been out. So this is actually shocking to me because we actually had a conversation on here like a week or two ago about should he even come back after the Kyrie Irving injury. She just hold out, get herself together, and get ready for next season. Apparently, he will be playing tonight, and they're going to go out there and try to get that final play-in spot. As it starts right now, they are tied with the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns would be in the play-in over them right now because of a tiebreaker. But look, man, good for Anthony Davis. Good to see him back out there. I think that the Luka trade obviously was a trade that everybody thinks that the Dallas Mavericks should not have done. But we also look at it way worse because we haven't seen Anthony Davis on the court. That one game he played when his debut, he was going crazy until he got hurt in the third quarter, and we ain't seen that nigga since. If he was out there these entire 6 weeks hooping, I don't think we look at the trade as badly as we look at it right now. But this is something right now. If you're the Mavericks, I guess you just want to get into the play-in and eventually get into the playoffs if you can, and at least try to see what can you do with this roster until next year. Because Kyrie's going to be out probably till Christmas. You know, ACLs aren't what they used to be. I don't think he's going to be out a year. But this is something where you're going to see Anthony Davis really start to be the leader of the team, I guess, without Kyrie Irving, and see what that roster is going to look like and what you're going to have to add to it in the summer to keep you afloat until Kyrie Irving plays again. Pat, what do you think about AD playing? Are you shocked he's playing? And what do you think that they can do these last 13, 14 games of the season?
I mean, it's cute. I mean, shout out AD for wanting to come back and play basketball. I mean, that's cute. But it's not just AD that's hurt, bro. Like, PJ Washington being out the lineup. I don't think I've seen Max Christie on the court. Gafford is still hurt. Lively got a broke bone in his foot. Like, there are just down bodies. If all those guys were there, even if Kyrie was hurt, granted, I know Kyrie being hurt is a huge thing, but even if Kyrie was hurt and all those guys were still there, like, I would give him a shot to make the playoffs. But I mean, it's, it's cute. Like, I guess it's cute, come out there. If you healthy, you play. So I commend him for doing that. Salute. But I don't really have any thoughts on it besides that, like, because they have too many bodies. They have too many guys down. But I guess you do need to go and see, I guess what kind of team you have. I don't agree with you. I think Kyrie's probably going to be going to at least March. It ain't going to be Christmas.
Ain't that long?
He tore his ACL in March. He going to heal in 8 months. This ain't football.
I mean, look, who's the last person to tell the AC was out a year?
Jamal Murray. He tore his
Jamal
ACL
Murray was
around,
out for a full year?
Yes, he tore his ACL around this time in March. He didn't play the whole next year. Then the next 4 years when they won the championship, when they were healthy.
Well, and he is older, so you might have a point right there.
Like the earliest he could be back is March, April. Unless he do some super shit, some Kyrie super shit. No. So yeah, I mean, I guess you just want to see what you got. But my first reaction to it was like, what the fuck? Then it was like, that's cute.
Yeah, I don't see the point in it. Tosin, what do you feel about Anthony Davis coming back tonight?
I mean, the Nets is always a good team to get your, confidence up against. They're not that good. So that's a good team for them to come up against. But they're missing a lot of people in Dallas. So it's cool that he's back, but doesn't really move the needle because they're not doing shit this year. So they're really, really hurt, like badly. So I don't know. But it's good. It's good to see AD back. I'm just hoping he stays healthy because we know AD sometimes when he's going, like sometimes he just randomly gets hurt. So here's him staying healthy for the rest of the year because they need him badly.
Bang, anything on AD? Do you think that with Kyrie being out, that Nico Harrison, this is probably a funny question, has a plan to at least, because if without Kyrie, this is gonna look worse for the next year. Is there any plan is to at least salvage these next 12 months?
This is Nico Harrison right here.
Yeah.
Man, how many people we got?
Yeah.
So everybody hurt? Man, AD, I just need you, fam. Just give me 15 minutes. Can you do that? Yeah, I don't see no reason why he playing outside of they ain't got a lot of bodies. So it's not going to do anything for the team. They're not going to miraculously end up in the playoffs or on the play-in or anything like that. I think this is just making sure that bodies is on the court in order for it, in order for it to happen. Like nobody's on the team.
Yeah.
So
now I did say that PJ Washington and Derek Lively aren't that far behind, but I don't know what that far behind means. Considering
what the fuck is that far behind?
Lively got a broke foot, G, and the season is in 3 weeks, G.
Yeah, the season is about to be over very, very quickly. I'm just reporting what people said. So I don't know. I feel bad for Dallas Mavericks fans because y'all niggas must be watching the Cowboys to this. It just don't get any better.
Hey, Dallas Mavericks is about to go back to the ghetto. Back in the days before Jamal Mashburn and Jason Kidd and Jim Jackson.
That was the ghetto.
Yeah, that was like before that. That was the ghetto. That back when Roy Tarpley was snorting cocaine and getting
pre-Dirk
and post Mark Aguirre.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty much.
When they had Cherokee Parks. and Popeye Jones.
now they got
back when Jim Clemens was their head coach, and they went 10-74, 10-72 or some shit.
Bro,
like
how
that.
bad you gotta be to go 10-72?
When Jason Kidd and Jim Jackson was allegedly beefing over Tony Braxton.
And then they also had Scott Brooks there too.
Yeah.
Playing.
Yeah.
Damn.
A lot of these old school NBA stories be funny. I understand fighting over Tony Braxton. It makes sense, especially in the 90s. It's just funny that that was what was going on. Allegedly.
Jim Jackson will tell you that story ain't true.
Y'all bet he will. Last topic with Pav. We're gonna get Pav out of here. This is like a random conversation I thought about while actually looking up all that soccer stuff. Like when you talking about these big name franchises, big name brands, I want to know, who do we think are the top 5 biggest American sports brands? Like if you had to take the top 5 in total, mixing MLB, NFL, NBA, who would those 5 be? Now,
Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees,
Cowboys,
Lakers,
Celtics.
I don't know about Celtics.
I don't know about the Celtics,
See,
bro.
I'm gonna say them just off the rip that they got sold for $6.1 billion. That's just the only reason why I'm gonna put them up there because it's the record.
I might go Dodgers. Granted, I do live in LA.
I think the Cubs are a bigger brand than the Dodgers.
Oh yeah, Cubs. Yeah, fair. I think Cubs are a big brand than the Celtics.
Yeah, I do too.
Cubs. And we got to put another football squad in there just because football is the biggest American sport.
Are we basing it off of like revenue, or what are we basing it off of?
I think like revenue, because if we're doing revenue, Golden State Warriors are number one in the NBA. Which is
I think we base it off most recognizable
brands.
Sports brands.
All right, Knicks are up there then too.
I don't know if I'll put Knicks in the 5 though.
Top 5, bro. We got to get another
NFL
49ers. 49ers?
Nah.
Okay.
I want to say like
Dallas Cowboys is the one.
I said that already.
Dallas. Yeah, we already.
I'm just saying that's the one for the NFL. Like when it comes to NFL, that's the one.
Got top. Yeah, I think NFL is just Dallas Cowboys. Maybe Pittsburgh Steelers, but probably just Dallas Cowboys.
Probably
just Dallas Cowboys. That was a question I was thinking about. Boston Red Sox.
I'm not gonna lie to you. As far as brands, as far as like branding, the Bulls will be in there. As far as just branding, branding,
the Bulls are the biggest international NBA brand.
Yeah, like I've been overseas, and you do see a lot of Bulls gear.
Yeah.
If we just doing branding, the Bulls would be in the 5.
And that's what I said too. Like when you talking about Tosin with the all that's Jordan. Let's be real. All that is all Jordan.
It's all Jordan.
But it's still like the numbers show you that they're still living off 27 years ago. But and some of it Derrick Rose, because I didn't know that Derrick Rose had the international fan that he had too, which is insane to me.
China, because Adidas.
They love that nigga. But I think too, like Tosin, you talking about the Celtics going for 6.1. I think if the Raiders is a good one, but I don't know if they top 5.
The reason, no, but the Celtics could have gotten more. The reason why it was 6.1 was because they don't own the stadium, so you just selling the team.
Oh, well then that's the reason why I feel if the Bulls go to market today, how much think they going for?
$8 billion.
Yeah, I think it starts at 8.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah,
8.
Yeah, because they own the building.
Even though that
they own
terrible ass stadium. But yes.
See, this thing with me and the United is it bad? Yes, but it's like
really bad, bro.
It's not really bad. Really bad is a stretch, bro. It's not really bad, bro.
Staples Center is low key bad at this point in time.
Staples Center is bad this time. It's all.
So what the fuck is the UC?
Yo, you know, so funny about this, right? It's the same issue Man United has. Like Old Trafford is legendary, but that stadium is bad. And Man United now building a $2 billion stadium because they're just like, yo, this is not it. Like our standards have to change. And the same thing.
My biggest beef for United Center obviously is the no cup holder thing, which is asinine.
The whole stadium has no cup holders, bro.
And I've been to United Center, bro. Tosin, when I tell you,
nigga, if you go to the box seats, the couch is peeling. I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
No, it is. It really is.
The couch is peeling in the fucking box seats, bro.
It really is.
Yo, my whole thing is just like with someone like Jerry. Oh, Jerry's an 89. That's why he don't give a fuck about nothing. That makes sense.
Oh, he don't care about nothing.
Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Jones, they just don't give a damn about anything.
No, see, Jerry Jones cares. Jerry Jones is just senile. Jerry Reinsdorf is a man who said, and I quote, "Just make fans think you care." Nobody cares about finishing number 1. If you finish in the middle, that's enough people to fill the stadium. I'm not making that quote up. He word for word said that. So Jerry Reinsdorf is the guy that when redacted, I'm gonna stand up and clap. I'm sorry. I'm opposed to my biggest op. Man.
So he made his initial fortune real estate, taking advantage of a Supreme Court case which allowed economic owners. Yo, he's just shiesty guy.
But see, this is the thing with United Center. When I've been going to the United Center since the late 90s. When I tell you I didn't peek that they didn't have no cup holders till the 2020 All-Star game. Because Pavy said it, and I was like, I never thought about it. And then I went for All-Star weekend, and I'm about to put my beer down. I noticed there's no cup holders there. but I have like an emotional attachment with the United Center, even though it is not a good stadium. It is 100% not a good stadium whatsoever. So, but I do think that I didn't know it was the biggest NBA stadium in the NBA, which I did not know.
I didn't know
What,
that.
It
do you
seats
see?
the most people. Yeah, the United
didn't know
Center
that
sits the
either.
most people.
Oh,
Didn't know
I
that.
saw a YouTube video on this last week. It sits the most people. And when
I
they
thought Intuit was that.
Nah,
they
it
sit,
was like
nah.
18,000, I think, something like that.
And what's called the Bulls sit like 23,000. And when they yes, okay, it's 28. Nikhil just said, but when they do concerts, it fits 23,000 because they have room for more seats.
That's why people doing the All-State and don't be doing the UC. It's hard to sell that bitch out.
Wow, yeah. United Center number 1, Wells Fargo number 2, the Cap number 3, Little Caesars number 4, and Madison Square Garden number 5. Oh shit!
That's why they got cup holders.
So I feel you take the team in that stadium. I think the conversation starts at 8. So I think the Bulls are contender for 5. As much as I don't want to agree because it annoys the hell out of me that they're still everything about the Bulls is nostalgia, bro.
No, I'm with you, but that logo and that red,
oh, it's amazing.
Is one of the most recognizable things about American sports.
And they've never changed their logo in all of those years.
And all that's used. And like you got people who came up on Jordan, and then there's a lot of people who have a great attachments to those Derrick Rose teams that I did not like. There's people who's like, oh, I started watching basketball because of Derrick Rose. And I'm like, that makes me feel old. There's a lot of people said that. A lot of people said that they grew up watching basketball because of Derrick Rose. When he came out here when he had the jersey, not jersey night, but the night that's gonna lead to his jersey retirement, and he had like the Rose shot thing, but that line was so far back, and all these people were telling him like, "Oh, I started watching basketball because of you." And as a nigga who graduated the same year as him, that makes me feel like the oldest nigga on planet Earth. And so you see that even though the Bulls are stuck mainly on nostalgia, the dynasty years of Derrick Rose is the reason that people still go to these games. And I have people say, when I come to Chicago, I want to go to United Center. As a lifelong Bulls fan, I'm like, why?
Why?
But I don't get it.
They too went to see Kobe White and fucking sit your beer on the floor. All right.
They want to see what no cup holders look like in person.
Right. Exactly. Like they didn't change. Like, they changed a lot of stuff over there, and it's about to change even more because they building the city approved the 1901 project, which basically they're finna make like a United Center LA Live over there.
Okay, that's cute.
So right, yeah. Come watch the Bulls finish 9th in the conference. But get you some good food across the street.
It's gonna be some fire food though. Oh, it's gonna be some fire food.
Look, Scott,
and get robbed 10 minutes down the block.
Scott, you gotta give. Look, I believe that by the time all of this shit is done, that all of our sports teams are gonna be hella decent.
Okay, all right.
Gonna be hella decent. We got to. They can't make all the leagues are not gonna make all of this and allow us to be high. We gonna get a little bit of.
You can sell me on every team having a decent future except for the White Sox.
Except for the White Sox, yeah. We
except for the White Sox.
I don't know if they're gonna ever get a stadium. That 76, whatever the shit, 80.
They don't need a stadium. The stadium is the least they problems.
It's the best stadium.
Stadium is the least they problems. They need to get actual Major League Baseball players on the team. They lost 141 games last year. Probably gonna lose 130 this year. That's they need to change.
Crazy.
Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. And the thing about Chicago too, these niggas don't get new stadiums. Like if you look at it, the last stadium built in Chicago, and I'm not talking about. I know people are like, oh, where would the Sky play? I'm talking about like out of the major teams since United Center.
Chicago don't get new infrastructure in general. They was working on the Dan Ryan for 25 years, bro. It took them 25. I'm not making this up, bro. It was traffic in like 03. It was like fucking construction in 03. In 2022, there was still construction. It's probably still construction right now, low key. If I drive down I-94.
Yeah, if you drive down, if you're driving on a Dan Ryan, I think the the minimum speed to be on a damn Ryan has got to be like 85 miles per hour. Like to start. Everybody on a damn Ryan think they Dom Toretto. But anyway, getting off topic, but I think the Bulls will probably be, they have a case for that 5. So, and of course, obviously, Yankees, Lakers, those are obvious teams. I think the thing about the Lakers and Celtics, which is funny to me, yes, they're close in championships, but I think outside of that, the Celtics ain't touched the Lakers in anything else, in my opinion.
No, but it's Boston compared to LA.
Like the Lakers are the NBA's Yankees, like by far. So, Pav, man, we're going to let you get up out of here, man. We're going to talk some football in a minute. But, Pav, let them know where they can follow you at. And, you got the new song dropping tomorrow.
Yeah, as always, man, follow me on Twitter or we're really anywhere on the internet at Pavy World. Check out pavworld.com. Got a new record dropping tomorrow called Thoughts Down Beverly Glen. That's a street in LA if you don't know what Beverly Glen is. So look out for that tomorrow night. And, yeah, man, appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir, man. Visit pavverbs.com. We're going to wrap this show up with a little bit of NFL talk. We're going to start with, unfortunately, the nigga I hate more than the devil himself, Aaron Rodgers. I am sick and tired of talking about this nigga, but he is still holding up the time and making us talk about him because he is yet to decide where he's going to play football this year. The Minnesota Vikings told him, you know what, we're good. We're going to go with our young buck. The Giants went out there and signed Jameis, and it looks like they're probably going to draft Shador. That leads to this team you see up on the screen right now, Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's starting to feel like it's inevitable. The way I look at it like this. I get it from a short-term perspective because ever since that rapist left that team, they have not had a quarterback. But long-term, this doesn't fix anything. This is a Band-Aid. And it's an annoying Band-Aid because we already know the things that Aaron Rodgers likes to do when he's going through NFL seasons. More than just playing football. Football is really the least of your concerns when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. If I'm Mike Tomlin, I don't understand why they want him so bad. Now, he went up there, I think it was Friday or Saturday, spent the whole day up at the facility, met with Mike Tomlin, met with the Rooneys, met with the GM. There was no deal that was agreed to yet. But both sides are still talking. To me, it's either the Steelers or retirement. I don't see this ending any other way. I think the Giants will close the door on that with the way they've been moving. And obviously, Minnesota said we're fine as well. And yes, I can see something where Aaron Rodgers says he's going to retire, but then maybe things don't look that well for J.J. McCarthy later on in the season. Maybe his rehab isn't where it needs to be, or some other team has a spot and he decides to go to them last minute. I can see that too happening too. On some Brett Favre type stuff. But I really think the reason the deal hasn't come up yet is because I think Aaron Rodgers is legitimately considering retirement. But I do think when the dust settles that he eventually will be a Pittsburgh Steeler. And that's going to be interesting because the Bears have the Steelers on their schedule. And I can see it right now. Monday, Sunday Night Football in Soldier Field. Aaron Rodgers, one last time. I would love to close the book on this nigga like we did Brett Favre 15 years ago. So we'll see how that goes. Bane, what do you think about? Do you think that you said on Friday that it's either retirement or one of these teams? Which way do you kind of feel like it's leaning right now for Aaron Rodgers?
I think it's leaning towards retirement instead of the Steelers. I think that if you look at last year, right? Last year around this time, Aaron Rodgers had told us on Pat McAfee that he was going to be playing with the Jets this season. He didn't say that. He has not said nothing. I think he wanted to go up in there and have a conversation about what they was looking for. I truly believe that if he was excited about that, he would have signed. He wouldn't need to go on no trek, go dark, lose his phone, put shit on his face. None of that in order to make a decision. I think he's probably trying to talk himself out of the decision. But I think he's leaning more towards retirement because, as I said to y'all these last couple of weeks, if he goes to a team, he has to conform, or else he might have went in that meeting and found out that ain't gonna be the best place for him the way he do things. So I think he's leaning towards retirement.
Tosin, what do you think this is going to end up for Aaron Rodgers? You think it could be retirement, or do you think it's just a matter of time before he ends up in Pittsburgh?
I think he can retire, but also selfishly, I want him to be in the AFC North. I want to see him twice a year. I want him to get knocked to dust, because why are you still thinking about coming back? You should have retired years ago. Your legacy's just in the trash now. Like, the thing that frustrates me the most about Aaron Rodgers is that was one of my favorite quarterbacks ever. And now, like, he just talked himself, and just all of his actions made everybody hate him. And it's just like, yo, you didn't have to do any of this. Like, you didn't have to go to the Jets. You could have just retired and just kept it pushing. But it's ego. And I think he still has that massive ego where he feels like he has something to prove. And it's like, yo, you don't have anything else to prove to us, man. Just go be a family man if your family still wants to have you back, and go somewhere else. Go take ayahuasca and leave us alone. Just how about that? Like, he got drafted, 05? It's like, yo, it's time. You're the only one from your draft class is still around. Like, Mercedes Lewis is gone, I think. So it's just like, yo, just call it a day. It's okay. Mercedes he's still in the league.
He's on the Bears. He's on the Bears.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Jesus
he ain't doing much, but he on the Bears. I know my brother called him sir last year, and that nigga was like, damn, like, I ain't that old.
Yo, you are that old.
Right, exactly. I don't know, man. I'm kind of conflicted, because part of me, like, obviously I would love him to retire so he can get out of my life. But one of my favorite moments as a Bear was the 2010 NFC North clinching game. Devin Hester broke the record for most kick returns. It was snowing in Minnesota. This is remember when the roof caved in on the old Viking Stadium because of the snow? And they're playing at the University of Minnesota.
Yep.
And my man Corey Wooten knocked Brett Favre into retirement. There's a picture of him and Brian Urlacher standing over Brett Favre. He got carted out. Never saw the nigga against the Bears again. I kind of want that moment with Aaron Rodgers. I kind of want that one last. We have to put him in the dirt. Nobody else can. We have to at the crib. Now, I'm also very aware that this could go very wrong for me, and he could give me one more middle finger before he goes into retirement. But I kind of want that shot at the same time. So I'm very much divided on how I want this to go. Either way, he needs to speed this process up, man. We almost a month removed from free agency. Hurry up, dog. You're not 25 anymore. We shouldn't be taking all this time figuring out where you're going to go. So that's how I feel about that. Moving right along, the NFL draft, officially a month ago. It feels like the top 3 picks are starting to be solidified. With rumors that the Cleveland Browns could be in position to get a Cam Ward to pick number 2. You got the Tennessee Titans. A lot of them starting to sound like Tennessee Titans are 100% going with Cam Ward. You got Abdul Carter talk. And also with the New York Giants going out there and signing Jameis Winston. Really feels like they might be angling to go get Shedeur Sanders. In fact, Deion Sanders, he's doing some type of conference yesterday, and he said that we're hoping that it is New York. So would not shock me if the top 3 picks would be Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, and Shedeur Sanders in some type of variation. And to me, I think that honestly, all 3 of these teams are quarterback needy. Obviously, Abdul Carter is a freak of nature. And as somebody I can see there, but I also found it very interesting when Myles Garrett, when he signed his extension, said that I have a pretty good idea of who our quarterback is going to be next season. And so that makes me think, could it be Cam Moore? Like, his stock was already hot coming into combine season and things like that. But now it's really like he's a solidified number 1 quarterback. And if you're any of these top 3 teams, it's all going to be to decide on what Tennessee wants to do. Does Tennessee feel like they can go out there and move with a vet and be in this and just try to compete? Or do they really think that Cam Ward is a superstar that can help them go to the next level? So that's really why I think how that's going to play out. But I do feel like all these Shedeur Sanders dropping to the second round, all that is nonsense. I would be absolutely stunned if he gets out of the top 3, and especially if he gets out of the top 5, top 10. Bang, do you think that this order for the draft is something that's looking like it's probably going to happen?
Yeah. Cam Ward had his pro day today. I was looking at clips of it. I mean, it looked good based off of what I saw, but it feels like the Tennessee Titans have done everything to say that Cam Ward is their pick. I don't think Myles Garrett, even though he got a boatload of money, I don't think that he takes that and be happy if they don't have a plan at quarterback. I don't see a plan at quarterback that does not involve Shedeur Sanders and Russell Wilson as the bridge QB. Because he even talked about Russell Wilson and that possibility before. Abdul Carter seems like he's going to be the person that falls, but only falls a short couple of teams away. I don't see the Giants going to get, or maybe even Hunter. But I feel like Thibodeau and Carter, if you get tight on the defensive line, that's going to help out whoever is at quarterback, because the Giants defense wasn't terrible. It was just a whole terrible team. And I think they need somebody in the trenches more than they need somebody at corner. If your trenches is good, it's going to make your cornerback better. So that's the only thing right there. I saw some reports talking about some Jackson Dart could go as high as 3. I don't think that's going to happen.
Which is insane, by the way.
That would be, even though I was warning y'all about that weeks ago, that would be totally insane. So I think that's your 3 picks right there. I think it's Cam Ward. I think it's Shedeur Sanders, and Abdul Carter is your first 3 picks.
You know what? I'll say this real quick before we go to Tosin. Like, I don't like I understand the defensive part, but I feel like, and I know you're not high on Shedeur or Cam. I don't, maybe I'm wrong. I don't see them going with Jameis like for the entire season as their starter. Like,
no.
They're
getting a quarterback in the second round. Like, I don't think that Jackson Dart is going to last. I don't even think the dude from NC State, the Tyler Schlow person, is going to last. But I do foresee them making a trade to get back in the first round to get up to try to get one of those people. But this is definitely not going to be the draft to try to wait for somebody. But I mean, I don't foresee Jameis Winston being the quarterback, the starting quarterback during opening day, because that's never happened in Giants history. I don't expect that because of that alone. Like, I don't think he's going to be the person that makes history.
Right.
Like that.
Never had a black quarterback. Now you're going to give it to Jameis?
Yeah. So I think somebody is going to do the dummy. There's going to be a team out there that's going to do the dummy and go big on one of the 3rd to 5th rated QBs in this draft. And the way that the league is buzzing about Jackson Dart and Tyler Schlow, like, you look at Louis Riddick. You look at Louis Riddick, and Louis Riddick will tell you that Tyler can compete with starters in the NFL right now. Now, things are different in the NFL, and you probably see more rookie quarterbacks kind of have some success their first year. And that's why I think that there's going to be a team that does the dummy, and that team to me is going to be the Giants. They're going to roll the dice on one of these younger 3rd to 5th rated QBs, and they're going to get them one.
Tosin, man, what do you think about this order for the draft? Do you see this how it's going to shake out? Do you think there's going to be some surprises?
I think Cam Ward's going to go number 1. Then Abdul's going to go to the Browns. I just don't know what the Giants are going to do. Because, again, I'm not sure if y'all know this, but October 22nd, 2023, that's the first time ever a black quarterback won a game for the Giants. So 2 years ago, this is the first time a Giants ever had a black quarterback.
Insane.
Yeah. 2 years ago is when they had a – so the Giants don't even know what they're doing. I'm shocked they even signed Jameis Winston. So I do think the first two is solidified, though. I think it's gonna be Cam Ward is gonna be number one, then Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett together. Like, please protect Lamar Jackson, because that's absurd. That's obscene. That's absolutely obscene.
How do you feel about former MVP Lamar Jackson being on Raising Canaan?
That nigga's just doing anything. He's just doing anything.
I also thought it was funny that 50 didn't know what episode that nigga was gonna be on. He was like, he on there tonight. I'm like, I just watched it. He was not on there.
Right. Yeah, I was like, he ain't on there.
Yeah.
He's not on there.
Did John Harbaugh just give me a Super Bowl if I call you a slur? Please just stop doing shit.
You know, it's just like, this motherfucker's doing 50 Cent shows, and you know, he's turning the ball over on the field, but he doing all this. Hey man, more power to Lamar Jackson. I know it's gonna be a funny episode.
Yeah.
But final topic of the show, man. We did not get to talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. And I kind of want to talk about expectations here to me, because this is funny, because I don't think we talk enough about mid-tier expectations. And what I mean by that is every team's not going to win the Super Bowl, right? Every team is not going to make the championship game. But for some teams, considering what they've done in the past, just making it should be an accomplishment. And that's why I think we should put the Las Vegas Raiders. They have a chance, in my opinion, to at least make the playoffs. They're not going to do nothing when they get there, but they at least have a chance. Look at everything. The Raiders ain't been nothing since what was that game against the that they call against the game against the Patriots 20 years ago? I'm missing the name.
Not the Flake Gate.
There's a whole Tuck Rule. They have not been anything since the Tuck Rule. They had a couple entertaining years when Khalil Mack was there, but they weren't like a good team. Now you bring in Pete Carroll, tradition of winning everywhere he's been. You bring in a quarterback like Geno Smith, who I believe is at least a solid quarterback. Won 10 games with the Seattle Seahawks last year. You got Max Crosby, brought him back, and you still got a good team. And then maybe they go out there and you draft Ashton Genty at pick 6. It feels like they've got something you ain't seen in a long time. So if you go from where they've been to winning 9 or 10 games, to me, that is a massive improvement. And that's a situation where if you're a Raider fan, you should at least be excited about the process of where this is going, even though it's not going to lead to a championship. Even though it's not going to lead to a division championship either, because you're in the same division as Kansas City Chiefs, as the Denver Broncos, as the Los Angeles Chargers. It's going to be tough. But I do think compared to where they were 2 months ago when they lost out on Ben Johnson, that they look a lot better. And I think that the mid-tier bar should be something that at least should be acceptable for Raider fans. Tosin, what do you think about these moves? Do you think I'm off on what we should be expecting from certain teams that really aren't championship contenders?
I think the team like the Raiders, right, like just go out there and have fun. There's a lot of teams where if you're a fan of these teams, like just go out there and have fun. It's like, you know, when you're like 7 years old and you're playing sports and your parents don't really expect much from you, just run around and have fun. To me, that's right. Really what it is. See it with them is just, you might win some games, you're gonna definitely lose a lot of games, but there's nothing there for you guys to really expect. You're in the same conference you're in the same place as the Chiefs. Nothing's really gonna happen for you. So I look at their team just like, man, I guess there's really nothing there with the Raiders, right? It's like, yeah, Pete Carroll is like, he's a fun, exciting guy, I guess, but what more do you expect from them? You know, there's really, I'm like looking at their team right now, and Geno is their quarterback, and he's cool. Like, Geno's cool, but then you look at their receivers, it's like Jacoby Myers is their best receiver. So it's just, they do have Brock Bowers, which will be fun. They did re-sign dude on the defensive line, Max Crosby, but I'm looking at the teams like there's really not much you can expect from them. You know, like they'll surprise you here, some games here and there, like they beat the Ravens last year, but I don't really expect much from them. And I feel like their fans should expect the same thing. It's like, we're not going to do shit this year, so let's just have fun and just try to see who we draft.
There'll at least be a good team to watch when you're hungover on a Sunday in Las Vegas. At least you don't have to watch Aiden O'Connell sling the ball for an hour.
Yeah.
Bang, here's a better question for you, Bang. Where do you rank Geno Smith in like the quarterback Like, I don't think he's like, you think he's like a top 10, like maybe 9 or 10, or is he in the 11 to 15
he's not no top
range?
10 quarterback. Hell no, he's not no top 10 quarterback. He might be top 15, and that would mean 15. I mean, look, I've been saying on this pod, man, we need to have conversation about the mid-tier quarterbacks again. We need them Eric Kramer, Rodney Peete conversations. We need them Jay Fiedler conversations, Steve Walsh, Billy Joe Tolliver conversations. Like we need them Rob and Brad Johnson conversations. Some of those go to Super Bowls, ladies and gentlemen. That's Geno Smith. He's one of them. Like that's his ilk. You know what I'm saying? That's his ilk of quarterback. That 15, that top 15-ish, but you're at 15. You good. You might make it to a Pro Bowl if somebody get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get your multiple Pro Bowls, because somebody get hurt. But that don't mean you're a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't know if he's 5th. I feel like he's better than 15, but I think he's in that mid-tier quarterback you're talking about.
Bang, I got a question for you.
Kramer.
What's up?
Huh?
Is Geno Smith, does he remind you of Brian Leftwich?
Yeah, like a little bit. Like a little bit of Brian Leftwich in a smaller version of it. He's just not as a statue. Like Byron Leftwich was a statue. Like if you got past somebody, he's not running away from him. Geno Smith got enough speed to get away from people. However, where Byron Leftwich was at the height of his career, he was inching there, but it was just other people in front of him. Like, that's why I see him.
I'm about to be so disrespectful and say he's basically dark-skinned Jason Campbell.
I mean,
I think he's a little better than Jason Campbell, or skinnier David Garrard. That's what we're gonna put him at. Remember David Garrard?
Hey, David Garrard was hella decent. Jeff Blake. Hey,
yeah.
Look, I was a Jeff Blake fan. I played with the Bengals on Tecmo Bowl because of Jeff Blake, ladies and gentlemen. I fuck with Jeff Blake.
You see what representation does to us? I wanted Troy Smith to be the Ravens starting quarterback so bad. That's what you get for wanting to have representation. You believe in Troy Smith. In
I was happy when the Bears got Cordell Stewart. Nigga, I was hyped.
I was
hyped, not knowing he was sorry.
Because look, I just went on NFL.com, right? And see, this is why I love conversations like this. It's like when somebody asks you your top 10 rappers of all time, and then folks be adding people in the top 10, but when you think about it, it's like, oh, they ain't really top 10. Yeah. Look, he ain't better than Lamar. He ain't better than Josh. He ain't better than Joe Burrow. He ain't better than Pat. He ain't better than Jared Goff. This season, he was not better than Sam Darnold. He was not better than Baker Mayfield. He was not better than Jaden Daniels. He was not better than Justin Herbert. I named enough. Like, he wasn't better than Jalen Hurts. He wasn't better than Matthew Stafford. I've named enough, y'all.
Yeah, you named about 12 or 13 names right there.
Yeah. After that, let's debate.
You didn't even mention CJ. You didn't even mention CJ.
Right, CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud, yeah, that's another one. That's another one. He wasn't better than Sam Darnold last year.
That's what I said. I said Sam Darnold. He was last year. Wasn't better than Sam Darnold. Now, was he better than Bo Nix?
No.
He wasn't. So now you put him in that Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy.
By the way, you said
Prescott.
You said Kyler Murray. I remember years back, somebody was trying to tell me that Kyler's better than Lamar. I said, at what? Like running as a badass 3-year-old? That's the only thing he's better than Lamar at? Like, he ain't better than Lamar.
Man.
Like, I kind of want to call Kyler Murray a bum. Like, I know he's not, but I kind of want to call him that. Like, compared to all the hype he had coming in, I kind of want to call him a bum.
He's 27, about to be 28. There's been too much trade rumors around him too. So,
and that's a good thing about playing in Arizona. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. He can just be rich and go to Laker games like he's been doing. But And that is all we got for y'all today on this episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. You can follow my co-host JR Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. Tosin, always great to have you on, my brother. Let them know where they can follow you and everything you got going on.
Just follow Shirtless Plantain Show everywhere, TikTok, Instagram. We're going to be a lot more serious this year. A lot of stuff we're working on. So, yeah, follow us everywhere, Shirtless Plantain Show.
And my job is to get good enough at knowing the sport so I can make an appearance on Shirtless Plantain Show.
we gonna have you on the episode. Trust me. We gonna have. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like the Power universe.
Yeah. All the homework. All the homework I gotta do. So you know what I started watching? I told Nikhil this before we got on there. I'm watching that all the Nothing series they had on Amazon.
Yeah, which team?
I'm watching the Man City one from like 2018.
Oh, okay. You realize Pep Guardiola is a psychopath.
Yeah, well, I just knew that nigga. He had great memes. So I'm like, oh yeah, this nigga cold.
Yeah. The wild thing for me, and like, I'm not trying to take too much of everybody's time, but it's just like I grew up watching these players. Like I watched Pep first before he was a coach, so it's weird to me seeing all these guys like I grew up watching as coaches. Like it's so weird to me.
Yeah, what's my man, the black dude, dude name? What, Thierry Henry?
Yeah, Thierry Henry. Yeah.
Yeah, man. When I saw him coaching, I was like, okay, I know I'm washed.
Yeah,
I remember when he was the man.
Yeah,
shout out to show. That's like the soccer version of Inside the NBA. Every IG reel I've seen been hilarious.
Yeah, so the crazy thing is I met Thierry Henry twice and I met David Beckham once. And that's the only time I've ever fangirled over anybody in my life. Like I met Thierry Henry. When I met Beckham, I almost fainted, like on God. Like I was like, oh my God, like this is like my childhood hero. Like this is insane. And it's just like David Beckham is actually like generally like when you see him in person, like he has like a whole entire like glow around him. It's like, damn, like he actually is like David Beckham in real life. So yeah, that's the only time I've generally like seen a celebrity.
That's dead ass when I saw Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
When I saw Jerry Rice walk past me at the Super Bowl, it was like a glow followed this nigga. I was stuck. I was like,
let me tell you about when I met A-Rod, nigga. So shout out my boy Illy. My man, the boy Illinois, he did the theme song for the show. So we was at a Clipper game. This was like, it wasn't last year, it was like 2 years ago. So he was like, he had like seats. I met up with him in like the seats area he was at. So I'm scanning the court. And I'm like, they playing the Timberwolves. I'm like, nigga, is that A-Rod? And then he was like, oh yeah, that's Alex Rodriguez. Nigga, why I stopped talking? Now I was covering the game. I was covering the game so I could go down to the court. When I tell you I made a beeline to the court and I'm searching for A-Rod. I find A-Rod. Now A-Rod is like you know by the basket when niggas is doing like the layup line before the game. So he's watching Anthony Edwards and all the other people doing their their warm up. So I go up and like, granted, I'm obviously way shorter than A-Rod. A-Rod is a big nigga, bro. So like I tap him and the security looking like, yo, should we tackle this nigga? And I was just like, yo, I don't want to bother you, but I was a massive fan of yours growing up, and I just had to say hi. And when I tell you he's the nicest nigga ever, super nice. And I came back into the media room, and this sounds funny because Jerry West walks past me. Now we see Jerry West all the time. So like the first time I met Jerry West, I was like, oh shit, nigga. Jerry West is talking to me. But after a while, you just saw this Jerry West over there. And I tell Pavy, I'm like, nigga, I just shook Alex Rodriguez's hand. And he's like, yeah, like a glow because I was such a big baseball fan and A-Rod was my man. So I definitely know how you felt. That's like one of the few times I've been starstruck. And when Shaq walked past me at Shaq statue night, he walked past me and I was like, oh, Shaq.
Just a big ass nigga. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's like you realize you watch so much sports, you're just like, yo, I might be old because these dudes are coaching now and owning teams. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where's time going? So
I remember when JJ Redick was the most hated nigga on Duke. Now he the coach of the Lakers.
I wanted to go to Maryland just because I hated JJ Redick. That's the only time I go to Maryland. I hated JJ Redick that much. I was like, I was applying to college earlier. Like, I want to go to Maryland. I want to boo JJ Redick. And now he's a coach. Like one of the best coaches in the league, too.
Now he's the coach. It says Scott's gonna show up for Chicago Fire. No, I am not. I'm not watching no MLS, nigga. Absolutely not. But anyway, man, that is all we got for y'all, man. Y'all can follow me at Barber Chair Scott on all social media platforms. Follow our Instagram page for the show at INGHY Show. Follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms. Follow our partners, HB Media, and at HB Media TV on Twitter, and at HB Media on Instagram. And, of course, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. Subscribe to the $10 holla. That is the Barber Show access feed where you get everything. And, of course, you get 25% off on your first order at the Barber Chair Network shop. That is bcnetshop.com. Y'all enjoy the next couple of days. We will holler at y'all on Friday, man. We up out of here.